Going live. Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
Hope you can hear me and the off-camera fabulous assistant. So we decided to mic her this evening so that she can relay questions, and you can hear her relay the questions that I answer. So
aren't you guys excited?
It's thrilling minute. So let us know in chat how the audio is sounding right now. I believe we are set, but I just want to make sure. Phil, a rainy evening. Oh man, sorry to hear. So I haven't actually got the telescope running yet. I thought I would save that excitement for the stream here so that everyone can see what it takes to get things going. Hey, good to hear, Augusto. Yep, follow along with us. So I'm going to unpark the telescope. So if you remember from last night's feed, parking is putting it in this safe position. When I unpark, it actually makes it so that the software can control it and tell it where to go and what to do. So I've unparked the telescope. That was thoroughly exciting, I know. And we're going to pick Saturn and or Jupiter here. And actually it probably would help if I open the roof first. So you get to see all of how the sausage is made. So this is all software I wrote to control the observatory and everything. And looks like we are not cloudy, the winds are safe. So we're going to go ahead and hit the safe open button. And there you see the observatory is rolling open. And while that's going, I'm going to put my phone on vibrate so it doesn't go off in the middle of things.
Did y'all see the Google Doodle today? It has the conjunction and snow-capped letters for Yule. It was pretty cute.
Let's see. Sorry, a family friend has asked about sending a picture of the conjunction, but I told him I'd do him one better. I actually send him we're live streaming it now.
Sorry, I'm meant to be the dead air filler, but I'm got a cough drop in my mouth, so.
Sorry, this will get more exciting shortly, but
how's everybody doing tonight? Morning, afternoon, tomorrow, depending on where you're from.
And here I do have another view inside the observatory. You can see the flap here. Once the roll-off roof stops rolling back, this flap will open up and pitch down. And that bright white light in the bottom is actually the other camera, this other angle down here, because I have the infrared turned on. So that camera, actually you can see it right there, that little white dot is the camera you're looking through up here.
Glad to hear everybody's doing well, staying healthy, staying safe.
And there goes the flap.
It always makes me a little uneasy since that initial snafu.
Well, yeah, but that's...
yeah. I mean, it was a one-off, so.
Yep. All right, so we're going to tell the telescope to go to Jupiter. And now you can see it moving in both of those videos over there on the left. Actually looks pretty good. I like it. I like it when a plan comes together. And you can see here, this actually knows where the scope is as well, so you can see it tracking down as it's coming down toward Saturn and Jupiter. So I'm going to minimize this and we'll open up the imaging software. I'm going to go back to FireCapture this time. So it'll be the same software I used on the first stream a couple of days ago.
I'm just going to take this moment to tell Laura that we miss them too, and we got your card, and I'm still in love with my pendant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's always nice when friends give you the moon and the stars.
Man, look at that.
Ooh, pretty.
Couldn't ask for any better.
Now this is what we're seeing is upside down, correct? Like if we were looking at it with the naked eye, Saturn would be on top? Or is...
Possibly. The thing is, in space there's no right side up, upside down. So it's just, this is going through some mirrors, so let's see here what the actual positioning is. I believe you're likely correct. Yes. Okay. And yeah, so it is inverted vertically compared to what you would see with the naked eye if you were looking through something like binoculars. And let's see what the moon positions are for Jupiter here. So we got Callisto way out here, Io, Europa, and that makes that one out there, Ganymede.
And what is the one that's just under the point of view number on the blue screen? Down here?
This?
No, no. That one.
That's the first moon. That's Callisto.
Okay, your cursor gets a little laggy, so.
Oh, okay. Well, you're watching on the stream, which is going to be delayed by several seconds.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll have to look over here. Sorry, a little coordination.
I didn't want anybody to miss anything.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to minimize that. Let's go to make this all fit. And I'm going to actually move this up a bit. I will say I like the other software's ability to control the telescope a little better. This one, it's assuming you're giving a guide pulse, so it won't let you move wholesale. And actually, I can do that through this software. There we go. Now we're getting up there. So for those that may be joining for the first time, that may not know why this is a cool situation or why anyone's making any fuss about it, this is actually visually the closest Jupiter, which is this ball, and Saturn, which is this ball, have been in almost 800 years. And it's visually close from our perspective. They're still 456 million miles apart because they're in different orbits around the sun. So there's still quite a bit of distance between the two. But they are close visually from our perspective. Oh, that's interesting. That actually has the wrong information on that. Interesting. So, little disagreement with the software, where the software says the moons are compared to where they actually are, which is odd. There may be a positional setting or something in the software that I've not tweaked just perfectly yet. But what we're going to do is turn down the gain here and get a little more detail out of Saturn. But we're going to lose visibility of the moons as I do this because the moons are much, much dimmer than the planets themselves. So I'm going to see what detail we can get out of Saturn here. And the answer is a bit, but it is very wobbly. So I can assure you two things. Number one, Saturn is not jumping around in space like that. Number two, my telescope isn't jumping around like that. It is magnified, so any movement on the telescope itself will magnify the movement in this view. But what's going on here is actually the same effect as if you look across pavement on a hot sunny day or the hood of a car. You can see there's ripples in the the view across the pavement or across the top of the car. And that rippling is because the hot air coming off of the pavement or off the hood is mixing with the relatively cooler air around it, so you're getting these swirls. And hot air versus cool air is actually different densities, and light refracts differently because of the different densities of the air. So this is the same phenomenon that's going on here on a much larger scale, because we're looking through a lot of atmosphere on the Earth to see these planets. There's actually several different gradients of temperature as you're looking out across through the atmosphere. And where those air gradients and air currents mix, it's causing shifts in the visibility. So what you're seeing here is basically the same type of wobbly vision that you see when you're looking across a hot pavement or a hot car. And this in the astronomy world is called seeing. So if you hear an astronomer say that they had poor seeing or good seeing, poor seeing means that the atmosphere was really jostly like this, and good seeing means it was really, really still. Consequently, when you look up at stars and you see the stars twinkling, this is the effect that's causing that twinkle. The stars that you would see with the naked eye, they don't really twinkle. And even if they do vary in brightness, they don't vary that quickly so that you would be able to perceive it with your eye. So twinkling stars is actually bad seeing, which is what we have going on here tonight. So you can definitely tell that that's Saturn. You can see there's a little bit of separation there between Saturn and the rings. And if I bring this down to 100%, yeah. So the more you zoom in on something, the more apparent that poor seeing becomes. So here you can make out a little better, now that we're back out to 100%, what is actually there. So definitely Saturn. You can make out the gap sometimes between Saturn and the rings, and otherwise it's Saturn. So we'll go back out full screen here, and we'll zoom in on Jupiter and see if we can make out any of the bands on Jupiter. So Jupiter is way brighter than Saturn because Jupiter itself is a much, much larger object in space to reflect the sun's light off of. So it's reflecting a lot more light off of us, even though it doesn't look like it's that much bigger visually from our perspective. That's because the relative position, Jupiter is much closer to, well, let me think about that. Yeah, it's closer to us than Saturn is. Anyway, so Jupiter is actually large enough that you can fit every other planet in the solar system inside it and still have room left over for Pluto.
It's 11 times the size of Earth.
11 times the size of Earth, and yes, 22 times the size of Mars, right?
Yes.
So Jupiter is very, very, very big. It's a gas giant. It, as far as we know, does not have a solid surface akin to how Earth has a solid surface. There's some speculation that it actually is a failed star. So it, in theory, if it had had a little bit more gas, which would have given it a little more gravitational pull and compressed down a little bit tighter, the theory goes that it could have started fusion and created its own and been its own star. There's a little bit of dispute on that because all right, we might be live here. I believe we're back live.
I am refreshing.
Looks like we are, according to YouTube. Apologies. For some reason, my computer locked up entirely.
I still got the spinny.
Yep, it'll be there in just a second. There we go.
Alrighty. Woohoo, we're back.
Sorry about that. Hey, you know, live demo tech glitches happen.
Thanks for the welcome back. Thanks for the patience.
Yep, thanks for sticking around with us. So, man, had a precipitous drop off in viewers.
Well, people got other
Oh,
things
well.
to do when we don't show up.
Yep.
So Bonnie wants to know what the picture to the top left. What's the picture to the top left? And I believe that's the one with the alternate view of the telescope.
So yeah, on the left-hand side, there's two views of the telescope. This one is from the northwest corner of the observatory, which you can actually see in this photo here. There's a little white circle right there. That's the camera that's producing this view up here. The bright white dot down there in the bottom corner is this camera giving off its infrared light. So it looks like a big bright white dot to this other camera that is sensitive to infrared light. I may be able to, well, it's not worth tweaking at this point, but
Brenda says she can see the band. Try a blue filter.
try the blue filter. We'll do that. Switching to the blue filter now.
So in regards to the size of Jupiter versus the Earth, according to NASA, Jupiter is 71,492 kilometers radius. Earth's radius is 6,378.1 kilometers, so it's quite the difference. Like grain of sand, marble comparison, maybe? No? That's science.
That's interesting. When I switched filters, it changed. Evidently, the software took it upon itself to change the orientation of the camera. Oh, no, I guess not.
Phil says it's raining in Pittsburgh as well.
Ah, too bad, Phil. See if I can get the bands to be a little clearer here. Oh, you know what? The other thing, we changed the focus last night when we went over to the moon. So we could be a little soft on focus right now. Let me see. I don't have focus control in here. Let me fire up the focus control software.
Okay, Bonnie, I am trying to see if I can find a naked eye view webcam of the conjunction so you can see what it looks like.
I can kind of show you that actually.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome back. And Don says, thank you for showing this. Nothing but rain in Northwest Washington.
So it might still be down in there, but that might be it there too, actually. So this is an all-sky camera. It has a view of the entire sky above the observatory.
I'm still trying to find something. Let's see. Pro tip, do not Google naked eye view in YouTube. Just don't.
It's actually really tough to focus on a planet, especially remotely, where you can't rack in and out in gross quantities. Because with the seeing, you can't really tell a lot of times if the blurriness is because of bad seeing and that heat and upper atmosphere distortion, or if it's because you're out of focus. So yeah, good times. I think that's probably better than it was, but it's tough to tell.
Phil wants to know, what size eyepiece are you using, or do you have multiple on the scope?
So this is not going through an eyepiece at all. It's actually prime focus on the back of the telescope. And Phil, the specs on the scope and the camera and everything are in the description if you want to take a look at that. Hey, Stephanie, welcome from Arkansas.
Augusto would like to know how NASA knows the distance between one planet and another. How is the calculation done?
So mostly from a planetary perspective, the calculations are done using triangulation. So we know our distance to the sun, and we know how our orbit operates. So when we're on one side of the sun for an orbit, we can make some calculations, and then as we move, we can make more calculations to get that determination. I'm certain there's a really good class on this on Coursera, which is an online learning that goes into a lot of details on distance calculations. And Brenda, I don't have a yellow filter. I have red, green, blue. I can try hydrogen alpha and see if that does anything. Let me get zoomed here so I can see everything. And I'll have to increase the gain and exposure quite a bit, I think. Oh yeah, that got really greeny. I don't think hydrogen alpha is really going to get us what we're hoping for here, but we'll take a look. I have 7 filters. I have a clear filter, red, green, blue, sulfur, oxygen, and hydrogen alpha. So those are the filters that I have to work with.
And it's actually David, it's not Brenda.
Oh, hi David.
I can hear Brenda in the background going, I'm not techie. In my head I can hear we're not spying on anybody.
Yeah, hydrogen alpha is really cutting down a lot on that on the transmission, so we'll switch back. We can try green here. Yeah, not getting any real color bands out of that. And I think red I tried last night as well, and it wasn't didn't really
Augusto,
help
I'm
much.
putting a URL in the chat. It is a NASA website, and it is called Space Place. And let me make sure I got that right, and I do not.
So there we have, occasionally when the seeing and the atmosphere steadies, you can see that there's a band across there. Oop, and that's way too bright.
I just realized it's a kid's website, so nobody take offense. I'm not trying to infer anything. It's just, it's dumbed down to my speed, so.
All right, so we're going to zoom back out and take a look at everything here. So I'm going to brighten it up so we can see the moons of Jupiter. Oh, you know what? I think that is way worse focus because the moons. Let me settle in on one of the moons and try to focus on that.
I'm still trying to find a live webcam, so.
Oh, for the naked eye view?
Yeah.
Was it clouded out in North Carolina?
Yeah, Bonnie said it was clouded
So probably a little tough to see on the stream. Let me make it even brighter here. All right, so this is way blowing out everything, right? But this is Europa. This one is Ganymede. And then this one is Io. And this is Callisto. So the 4 Galilean moons. And that is Saturn, and I believe that is likely Titan. But let me zoom in to Stellarium and see where it says Titan is. Oh, maybe it's not Titan at all. Okay, so Titan would probably be this one here. Yeah, because it's going out away from Jupiter in this view. Okay, so that's likely Titan there. That is likely just a star of some sort. I'm going to dim this back down some.
You would think someone would have put just a webcam out there so people could watch it.
And so, for those that aren't aware, the reason this is interesting for astronomers is usually with a telescope like this, where the focal length is equivalent to a 2,541 millimeter lens on your camera. Normally with that type of focal length, it's an extremely narrow field of view, and you can never get 2 planets in the same view. Matter of fact, I can't get the full moon in a single view on this telescope. So for astronomers who are used to having to image one planet and then the other planet in different parts of the sky, this is super cool that it's so close that you can fit both on the same field of view on a chip. So it's really, I mean, it's not anything spectacular from an astronomical perspective. It's just a function of the position of the 2 planets and the position of us, so that from a perspective basis it looks close. But it's still, kind of fun to play around with. I'm going to dim this down and record some video and see if I can process it later into something usable.
Rich and Sue asks, when this is over, do you have a favorite area to study?
I really like deep space objects. I like nebulas and star clusters especially. So that's what I typically shoot pictures of.
Webcam. I might be onto something, Bonnie. No, I suck again.
I'm going to zoom in on this just so I can get my exposure down to hopefully see the bands. Yeah, that's about as good as I'm going to get. Okay, so Jupiter, we're going to change this to an AVI because, oh, evidently we're not going to change it to an AVI. So the 1 minute of capture that I did the other day, on the first night that I live streamed, that 1 minute was a 19 gig file. So trying to decide if I want to go to Fits Image or if I want to switch out to that other software and see if it'll let me do an AVI. That may be what I do. Alright, so I'm going to switch software here from FireCapture to SharpCap. No, I don't want to shut down the scope. Okay, fine, I'll shut down the scope.
Okay, I'm adding a link. This is Newport Coast Cam from Newport Coast, California, and it is live. The sun is setting, and I think it's right after the sun sets that you can see it with the naked eye.
Yeah, right after sunset.
Right after sunset, so a little bit to the left of the sun.
It'll be up above the horizon and probably, yeah, kind of
left?
diagonal to the left.
Okay, so if you click that link, the sun seems to be on the far right of the view, and you might be able to see it. That's as close as I can find.
All right.
I think we missed an opportunity there.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I have another cam.
I was just getting ready to say sky cam here maybe, but we got trees.
Yeah, we got lots of trees.
We do got trees.
Make sure the gain is set properly. Man, this is really grainy. I don't know why it's so much worse. Let me check all my settings here. Nope, don't want to do auto gain.
It was just a second ago, Saturn was more clear. I don't know what the gain adjustment you made.
Yeah.
Or if you were pointing at Saturn when you were adjusting or looking to clear up Jupiter.
This software was working a lot better than this yesterday. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it's stretched. Haha, it was stretched. That's what the issue is. Okay. Stretching is when you take the data that you have. Like you can see in this histogram, there's a lot of pixels that are black, which is all the way here on the left. And then the brightness of the pixels dwindles off as you get closer to white. So you can actually stretch this so that it makes the data you have fill more of the visible space. So that's what was going on. It was. So I'm going to drop this way down and see if I can take a video. Zoom, auto. This is Jupiter and Saturn. We'll just call it Jupiter for now. And Jupiter, unlimited frames. Now I may need to check the options to see what it's going to use. Okay. Sorry, I'm live tech demo, right?
Did you see Stephanie's comment about that would be Aunt Stephanie to you, young man?
Oh, my apologies, Aunt Stephanie. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah. I will say,
Stephanie,
though,
you should ask Anthony if it's Aunt Stephanie.
we did find the Easter egg in the quilt, though.
Yes. Thank you very much for your work on the
Yes,
quilt.
absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Neither of us are struggling for coverage. It's amazing. It's like the first blanket that we haven't fought over.
Single file sequence. Okay, well, I guess it just takes a sequence of images, and I will figure that out later. So, all right, so we're going to start a capture here. Jupiter, we're going to let it run until I stop it. So start. Okay, yep, it's running. And we're capturing, we've captured 200 frames, 0 dropped. It's doing about 11 frames per second. Oh wow, the camera has cooled down nicely, that's good. So scientific sensors, like is commonly used in astronomy, they are cooled sensors, meaning they actually have a cooler built onto the back of the sensor chip itself. And the reason for that is a hot chip generates a lot more noise. So it generates a worse output for what you're looking at. So having this cooled sensor, it greatly reduces the amount of noise that's generated. So you get a better signal to noise ratio. So we've been capturing for about 1 minute, 10 seconds. Oh, we're dropping frames now. I'm going to go ahead and stop. I did make a SCR file. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to take one snapshot just for giggles. And let's see if I can do a live stack tonight. So it's not going to be able to align frames. Let me bring this back out.
Is it bad that I'm watching somebody else's feed of the conjunction?
Well, you're not helping me if you're doing that.
It's in the background, and it's Griffith Observatory. It's
oh,
not...
okay, Griffith Observatory. Well, you know.
I was trying to find a live view.
Yeah, they have a color sensor, huh?
Yeah, they do. It's amazing.
I have a color sensor, but not on this telescope.
Yeah, I was just trying to find a naked eye webcam for somebody, so.
And is it actually stacking? Frame rate too fast. Some frames may not be processed. Okay, that's fine. Sigma clipping. Let me go to the default stack mode and clear it. So let me zoom in. These two different pieces of software treat things a little differently. One of the big features of this software is this live stack, but it's not been working too well for me on this particular event, nor actually the Orion Nebula that I imaged last night. Brighten this up just a little bit, and okay, so we are on luminance. I do really like the layout, the way this software operates better than the other. Oh, let me close this out. And I don't think we need this shot anymore. It's a little blown out by the other camera, so. So this circular view over here is actually the all-sky camera at my observatory. And if you look way down here, there's a little white dot right above the southwest horizon. That is Jupiter and Saturn. And if you notice there was a big red smear around there earlier. That was probably someone driving through the RV park, because the RV park is off to the east, which is on the left side of this view. So that was probably someone driving through the RV park and seeing their brake lights. Alright, so we'll brighten this up and get a view of the moons of Jupiter. There we go. So there's Saturn, Jupiter, and then if I had a better memory, I could tell you the moons right off the bat, but I don't, so I'm going to cheat. All right, so the moons are Callisto, way out here, kind of faint. And this one is Io. And this is Ganymede and Europa, I believe. Actually, you know what? Europa is a lot closer. Yeah, that's right. Yep, okay. So that's right.
I added a link to an Earth cam. It is Belvedere Cove in California. It's a wider angle of the sunset, so you may be able to see it as the naked eye. I think I can see it, but
and I can bring up that all-sky camera as well here. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to bring up. Evidently, I closed that tab. Yes, I did. All right. So, yep, right there is Saturn and Jupiter, just in the southwest there, above the Chiricahua Mountains. Let me see if the other camera picks it up at all, the west wall camera. I don't think it's going to.
okay, Bonnie, if you're listening, the Newport Coast cam, the first link I added, actually shows the star. If you are looking at that feed, it is on the right side, about more than halfway up, about a third down on the right hand side, and it's just a big bright star. That's the best I can do. Sorry.
That's really what it looks like to the naked eye.
Yeah,
if you've got good vision, you might be able to make out the distinction between the two, but otherwise it's going to look like one bright star. All right, I'm going to run another capture. Sure, 1,000 frames, that sounds good.
I can also see it on the Belvedere Cove cam, but it's more faint. So.
Tonight as well, after Jupiter and Saturn set too far below where I can image, I'll go ahead and show the moon and the star cluster you pointed out yesterday that you had me go to.
Pegasus?
Yeah, the Pegasus cluster. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Let me try to find something else to look at too.
Sure. Do it to it, baby. Oh wow, we're passing below 10 degrees above the horizon, which is really, really far down south, or down low in the view. So it's going to be really tough. The further down you go toward the horizon, the more atmosphere you're looking through. So it makes this type of imaging way tougher because that whole seeing thing, that vibration in the atmosphere. And I think I'm going to go ahead after this capture. Yep. There we go. Okay, so that capture went. I'm going to brighten this up one more time just so we can see the moons, and then we'll go to our moon. Anybody out there? Everybody doing okay? No questions? No curiosities? So again, the moon's here tonight. Jupiter's moons. This is Callisto, Io, Ganymede, and Europa. Those are the 4 Galilean moons. And this is Saturn, and its moon, Titan, is barely visible down there. I can brighten it up a bit more.
Jim Belletti has joined us. Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Bonnie said, I got what I thought was what we're trying to see, but Rusty said it was the moon. Does it look like any moon I ever saw? Would the moon be...
Well, the moon is out, but the moon is more up in the sky over the south for us here in the northern hemisphere. Oh, maybe you're talking about, Bonnie, in your own camera. If you zoom in, you should be able, if you have any type of zoom on your, like a regular camera, you can zoom in and you should be able to make out the 2 planets. You will have a lot more luck if you have a tripod where you can stabilize it and take a longer exposure. But you should be able to get the definition between Saturn and Jupiter.
And it's, I mean, it's still going to be in the sky tomorrow night and other nights, but it's just, it's at its very, very closest, you know, as close as it gets. Then it starts to drift apart.
Yep. Yeah, so as Linnea said, this is something, it's not like tomorrow they're going to be, you know, 30 degrees apart in the sky. Saturn in this view is actually, it's coming across through here with respect to Jupiter itself. So, like she said, tomorrow night it'll still be visible. It'll just be a little bit more separated than they are tonight. Very much actually like they were last night, just on the opposite side of Jupiter. Yeah, Brenda, I thought about pinging my buddy out there earlier today and having him go out and clean it, but I decided to not bug him the week of Christmas, unless it's an emergency. But yeah, there's a lot of spider webs and bug junk and all kinds of stuff, unfortunately. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move us over to the moon. If I zoom out here, we'll actually be able to see, oh, there the scope coming across through there. And you can see in the lower left corner the scope moving over to the moon. Hey Fred, welcome to the stream. Yep, I'd say that's the moon. What do you think?
I'm way behind.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Lennon is watching the stream on her side to keep up with the chat and everything. So this is the moon. This is likely, compared to what you view visually when you're looking outside right now. Let's see. Yeah, so this is flipped vertically, top to bottom. And actually, I probably can control that here too.
Fred got to see it at on a neighbor's telescope there in an RV park in Florida.
Oh, very nice. I know I saw in here. Oh, here we go. Flip vertical and horizontal. Okay, so there we go. Now it looks like what you see when you look outside. So as you can see, I can't really fit the whole moon in, so that gives you an idea of just how close Saturn and Jupiter are right now. To be able to get both of them in the space of, you know, a little bit across the moon is visually is really, really impressive. Keep in mind they're not actually, they are super close together in space relative to where they normally are, but they're still in their separate orbits, so they're still about 456 million miles apart.
456, yes.
So just touring around the moon here a little bit. Oh, this is too wide. That's what's going on.
So Andromeda is near Pegasus.
Oh, yeah, we could look at the Andromeda Galaxy, at least the core of it.
And Cassiopeia,
Oh, that's,
way far.
well, that's a huge constellation. There's no way to get that in the telescope.
Well, my 50-year-old eyes are opening I opened a PDF for skymaps.com. So,
Okay.
and it doesn't have a zoom, so you get what you get.
We can go see Mars while we're looking up some other objects.
Did you do Betelgeuse last night?
I did.
What about Castor and Pollux?
Nope. But those are big constellations. So
The star Castor and the star Pollux?
Okay. That's fine. They are big constellations as well. Anyway, so if you're looking at the telescope in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see it's doing quite a big dance right now as it, in the sky, Mars and the moon are actually fairly close together. But what's going on is it's having to do a pier flip. So it's flipping to the opposite side of the pier so it can point correctly at Mars without running into the pier or mount or anything else with the telescope. So that's why it's doing that big flip around there. Hey, thanks, Fred. Glad you enjoy the view. And hey, there's Mars in the view. Oh. So this is actually, yeah, that's actually better representation. So I'm going to zoom into 100% and see, yeah. So you can, if you know what you're looking for, you can kind of tell this is Mars, in that you can tell it's illuminated more on one side than the other. So it's a planet. This side is pointing more toward, or is receiving sunlight. And occasionally when things get really still, you might be able to make out a little bit of darker area across the surface of the planet there, which is pretty normal in photos of Mars. I've never actually photographed Mars personally, so I guess I can do a quick capture here. Just see if I can get some frames to process. Again, the seeing this week has not been really good. So there's a lot of atmospheric disturbance.
M81, the spiral galaxy, is visible with binoculars and very easy to see with a telescope. So you may want to zoom over there.
Okay. Is that up right now?
It appears to be.
Okay. We can try that. Nope. It's
Nope.
behind the observatory.
Oh, okay. All right, I guess just go to Pegasus. I got nothing.
Andromeda Galaxy is actually up there quite a way. Oh. Yes.
And
Yeah, I
two
should
in
be able to get
Aquarius as well.
So let's go look at the core of the Andromeda Galaxy, because that's actually all that will fit in the telescope. Oh, okay, good. I wasn't capturing at that point. So we're moving right down to the Andromeda Galaxy.
John said that they're completely fogged in, so they can't see them tonight either.
Yeah, we were looking earlier in the stream, but unfortunately the planets got too low on the horizon, so we weren't able to do much more with it. Oh, there we go. All right, let me see if I can move this the right way. Indeed I did. So maybe we can use the live stacking here. Maybe. We'll see if we can. So center it up.
This is Pegasus?
No, this is the Andromeda Galaxy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, this is just the central core of the Andromeda Galaxy.
At Rusty's, with the Rusty's RV Ranch, with the Bortle 1 skies, you can see Andromeda with your naked eye.
Yes.
Just hanging out there in the middle of the night. It's quite impressive. Makes you feel insignificant.
Alignment. Can we align frames? Highlight detected stars. That's okay. So I think this is stretching way too much. Oh no, it's not stretching at all. Let me change this to Sigma clipping. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn off aligning and let it just do it itself. This one might turn out pretty good. Oh. Looks like we're having some bandwidth issues down to the Astro Shed.
It's probably everybody at Rusty's RV Ranch using the internet to
Use
watch
it, yeah.
this.
Yeah. So we're starting to get actually some structure in the core there of the Andromeda Galaxy. So this is going to turn out nice. Hey John, welcome to the stream.
Have y'all been watching Star Trek Discovery? Because
Oh,
if
really
you're
good show.
not, you need to.
Yeah, really, really good show.
Team Giorgio.
Make sure this is, okay, good. It is optimized quality, so that'll be good.
John wants you to show us the end of the universe.
Oh, I wish I could.
It's just past where the sidewalk ends.
Yep. What enhancements does it do? No, don't need any sharpening or anything. Oh, I can enable PhD2. PHD2. So PHD2 is, oh, we got a satellite that went across the frame there. So that's what that vertical white streak is. So this is pretty cool. You can actually even start to see a little bit of a spiral arm coming in there. There's a little bit of a dark lane right through this area. It's still pretty faint at this point, but it is working on it.
Sometimes I have good ideas.
Hey, a lot of times.
I appreciate that about you.
Mm-hmm.
We've boarded the cats.
Yep, the cats are sacked out, asleep over here. So for those that may be just joining or may have left, it looks like we have a few drops off. We are no longer looking at Saturn and Jupiter because they have dropped below the horizon for my imaging gear. And instead now we are looking at the Andromeda Galaxy. And this program is taking multiple images, about 1.2 seconds per image, and it's adding that data together for each image that it gets. And actually, I'm going to increase the exposure because I know I can. Let's go out to 5 seconds.
Good evening, Ocean. I hope everything is going well there in Wales. I haven't seen any new lorry pics from you recently, so I'm guessing you're locked down tight and snugged over there.
So I just cleared this stack and let it start doing the 5-second stacks. Oh man, that's a lot of data.
John, you know the problem with Monday Night Football? It's not hockey.
And it's got football in it.
And it's got football in it. So I wouldn't say that we're missing it. But hockey starts up in January, so.
Yeah, so this is going to get a lot more data a lot more quickly. John, yeah, sorry, buddy.
Wait, if you got us like box seats or something for the 2022 season, something like that, we'll scalp those.
Yeah, you could give those to us.
Yeah, you could give those to us. We'll use the money to buy hockey tickets.
There you go. All right, so I'm going to increase this up to 15 seconds.
Augusto, if I had to guess, I would think by the numbers, soccer is the #1 sport in the world if you combined all the fan base.
I would say probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Soccer, maybe cricket. Cricket's really big overseas.
Yeah.
Woo, boy, that's getting a lot of good detail there in Andromeda.
Hey, Christy. Your cousin Christy's on. Christy Jarrett.
Oh, hey, Christy, how are you doing? So, Christy and anyone else just joining, we're no longer looking at Jupiter and Saturn. Those drop down below the horizon for my telescope out in New Mexico. So right now we're looking at the Andromeda Galaxy. And I'm taking 15-second exposures of the Andromeda Galaxy, and then it's stacking those together to get more signal and less noise in every frame that it captures. So right now we've stacked 3 frames and now a 4th frame just came in for a total exposure time of 60 seconds on the Andromeda Galaxy. And so this actually goes to what I was talking about yesterday. The biggest thing that a telescope is intended to do is capture more light. So this telescope is 12.5 inches across. And to put that in comparison, think about the size of your pupil. Even fully dilated is not more than a couple of millimeters, right? If that. Yeah, a couple of millimeters. I'd say probably 4 or 5 millimeters is pretty common
For what?
for the
focal point?
pupil.
Yeah.
So 4 to 5 millimeters. This is 12.5 inches. So let's see here. That is 317 millimeters across. So if we do 317 divided by, let's call our eyes 5 millimeters. So this has 63.4 times more diameter for light capturing, but the area goes up significantly more than that. So this has a lot of light capture capability. The side effect, though, is the magnification. So because of the focal length of the telescope, this actually magnifies quite a bit as well. And as you can see in this photo, I'm not getting all of the Andromeda Galaxy in this shot. I'm getting just the very central core comparatively. So if you could see the Andromeda Galaxy with your naked eye in full, it actually takes up more space in the night sky than the full moon does. So it's really pretty impressive how big the Andromeda Galaxy is. And actually, I'm going to zoom in on it here in Stellarium so I can show you. And actually, I'll put this over it. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see real well, but oh, actually, let me get this out of the way here.
John wants to know how far away is Andromeda?
The Andromeda Galaxy, I believe it's
I'm getting there to Google's.
Okay.
I'm Googling it.
2-point-something million light years is my speculation, if I recall correctly.
And the human pupil is anywhere from 4 to 8
Millimeters.
millimeters. Andromeda is 2.537 million light years.
Yep. And that's our closest galactic neighbor. The galaxy our Milky Way is closest to. And they're actually both on a collision course coming together. So,
so duck and cover.
in a couple million years, a couple 100 million years, they will actually start combining. The likelihood of any two stars or any two solar systems or planets actually colliding is basically non-existent. So it's really not something that you have to worry about, even if you're alive in a couple 100 million years. So you might be able to see this red outline here. So that's actually representative of the field of view here in this sensor. So if I zoom out, you can see why in this particular instance magnification is not actually something that to be desired. You would rather have a really wide field of view to be able to get all of the Andromeda Galaxy. Instead, I'm just shooting this very central core. I'm going to save that one. Looks like we had a little bit of drift, so the stars are getting a little oblong. All right, so I'm going to stop that one. And let's go to the Pegasus cluster.
The diameter of Andromeda is, well, that's a whole lot of math.
How many light years?
110,000 light years.
Yeah, 110,000 light years across.
And more than 1 trillion stars.
All right, so now you'll see the scope take off again as it goes to point toward the Pegasus cluster.
Yeah, John, they don't call me Google for nothing.
That's no worries, John. It's good info for everybody else on the stream.
Augusto says he's afraid of black holes.
Oh, well, I mean, our closest black hole is holding the entire galaxy together of the Milky Way, so that's not really... In this instance, a black hole is our friend.
John's playing the fuel game. I need to know how many miles so I can calculate how much gas to bring.
Different stream, John. Different
Yeah.
stream, buddy. Don't cross the streams. All right, so we should be, oh yeah, there we are, we're on target. So let me center it up a little bit and then we'll start stacking. Oh yeah, 15-second exposures. I probably should have, I should turn the exposures down and the gain up. It's not too bad actually. All right, so now we're waiting on frames of the Pegasus cluster to start coming in so we can stack those. This is going to look super cool, by the way. These star clusters like this, they look like you took diamonds and just scattered them across black velvet. Really, really like star clusters. All right, so we're looking at individual frames. Let me switch over to the stack. There we go. And let me stretch it a bit. Oh, too much. There we go. So there's that black velvet with diamonds scattered across it look that I was talking about. Really, really love star clusters. And getting, there we go, bandwidth issues there at the astronomy shed. How many nuclear plants do we need to take with us to get there? Whew, several. Even traveling at the speed of light, going to the Andromeda Galaxy, you would have to travel 2.57 million years. So, yeah. Hey, Red Jag, thanks for joining the stream. Unfortunately, Saturn and Jupiter have dropped below the horizon for my observatory in New Mexico. So we're just tooling around the sky here, seeing what we can find. Actually looking at the Pegasus cluster again tonight. We just got through looking at the Andromeda Galaxy. I'm going to save that. Let me see if I can get PhD guiding going. So guiding, it uses a secondary camera to monitor for any drift in the system. Oh, looks like there's a new version available. I'll wait. Oh, Lenan's going outside. I don't know if she realizes her mic is still on.
Sorry. I can see. Nope.
Can't see it?
No. Hey, Red Jag. Hope you and Mary are doing well.
And let's see if I can connect this to the guide software. I've never done that. So this software here, SharpCap, I haven't really used that much. It is guiding and it is settled. Good.
Keep an eye out. I'm going to do a little drive-by. I got to get a refill.
Okay. So I'm going to reset the picture here and let it start using the guided frames. So I think, John, we already answered the diameter of Andromeda. That was the answer you gave earlier, right?
110 light years. 110,000. 110,000.
Oh, 1,000?
I think so. Let me go
Oh,
back.
yeah, 1,000. That does make more
Yeah.
sense. Sorry, 110,000 light years.
The diameter is 220,000 light years.
Oh, okay.
And the radius
is
is
110,000.
110,000 light years.
Okay. And what's the diameter of the Milky Way?
Oh, why would you ask me that?
Because you have Google.
The diameter of the Milky Way is 105,700 light years, and the radius is 52,850 light years.
Okay. So the Andromeda Galaxy is roughly double the size, diameter-wise.
Yes, 220,000 is the Andromeda, 105, let's call it 106,000
Okay.
for the Milky Way.
So we're getting a new stack of Pegasus cluster here. I'm really afraid to go look at the graph because the seeing is really horrible. So, I mean, that's not amazing guiding, but it would be better if I did calibration. All right. What else would we like to go look at, my dear?
You made me lose my place. I think you should go and check out, if you can get to it, Castor or Pollux in Gemini. Those are both.
Well, they're just going to be bright dots. They're not really going to be... Oh,
Okay.
Speaking of bright dots, I probably should try focusing because... So when you focus on a planet, the focus is actually different than focusing on a deep space object like a star cluster or the Andromeda Galaxy. Even though these haven't looked too terrible, if you zoom in to 100%, you'll actually be able to see the stars are really huge and blurry, fuzzy. So it's not really in focus right now. Matter of fact, let me stop the live stack.
M35.
Was ist M35?
It is a fine open cluster located near the foot of the twin Castor.
Oh, okay. Emma's starting to play with her toy here. Let's see if this tool's autofocus will help. Increase exposure, reduce black level threshold. Let's go to 1%. Oh, actually I have to do it at least 2% because yeah, I'm gonna have to crank up the exposure.
David says go to the baby maker.
I think he means the Orion Nebula, and we'll go there next, David.
The baby maker.
That's
It's a PG room, David.
yeah. I think I need to go in on focus to get better on this.
We could do Rigel in the Orion. It's a blue supergiant.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I understood what you were going for, David.
I hear you. She's a chatty kitty.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to go to the program I use most for deep space and have it do the focus.
I'm being fussed at.
All right, so let's take one shot. Oh, actually, I need to connect to all the gear first. All right, so now I can take one shot. Oh, that was an instantaneous shot, so that's not going to do any good. Let's go to 10 seconds, 2x2 binning, take one shot. This should be a little better.
I'm playing toss the kibble with the kitty to keep her occupied.
All right, so I'm going to turn off the all sky camera so you can see the environmental data down there as well. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's run a focus routine. So what this does is it takes a bunch of pictures, and for every picture it counts, it looks at all the stars and determines how big they are, and then as the focus improves, the stars will get smaller and smaller until it goes beyond the point of focus. Then the stars will start getting bigger again. So right there you can see it is way out of focus now. Yeah, I really do need to run a calibration on this. So this is all the fun stuff that happens when you're taking astronomy photos.
This is why I like to just grab a chair and sit outside and look at the stars.
Yeah.
When Michael first came home excited about astronomy, and we went to our first, I don't know, when was the star party, the first one we went to at Stanton River?
When was it?
Yeah, we ended up, I don't think we had an RV yet, did we?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because we borrowed somebody's camper to go out there, and it was cold.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was so cold. It was just
it
like
was probably 2013.
Yeah.
We did have we were in between RVs,
oh,
so we borrowed
right,
one.
Yeah. And it was cold, and I stayed in the camper with my laptop watching some movies. And when one of Michael's friends said, well, you know, why aren't you out here in the cold with Michael? I said, because Hubble.gov. I could sit at home in my slippers, Hubble.gov. He didn't like that answer. Hardcore astronomy. Astronomers don't generally like being shown up by Hubble.
It's a different...
It is. It's completely different. And
all right, so that has gone way the other way. Let me cancel that and let it move back to the position it was. And okay, so there's the focuser. Let me take one photo here. Actually, that doesn't look pretty bad, or it doesn't look very bad. And while that's going, let me force a calibration here. So calibration on this, it starts taking pictures and then sending movement commands to the scope so that it can determine which direction the scope moves compared to what direction the star moves. So it can send a proper correction. Man, we got them dropping like flies. We're down to 13
Yep.
viewers.
I think we should go back to the moon. At least that's something people
Okay,
can...
we'll go back to the moon after this.
This is how the sausage gets made.
It is. You see all those pretty pictures, you know, that people take, astronomers take. This is the type of thing that goes into that. Is there anybody still awake out there?
I think the best part about this chat tonight and this visit is Ocean's lorries. He told me that the Johnny Cash lorry was from Ireland. So somewhere in Ireland, there's somebody so in love with Johnny Cash that they airbrushed their entire lorry with Johnny Cash, and It's awesome. Red Jag is here. The bots are here.
So just waiting on the calibration to finish, and then it'll start guiding. That'll be when this this little emblem lights up. Oh, you can't see that, it's behind my head.
Augusto is still here. Thanks y'all for
Yep, thanks for sticking with us.
hanging out.
I bet I've lost all the family members. Just guessing, speculating. For those joining, Saturn and Jupiter have dropped below the horizon for my...
Red Jag and Company.
Yep. So for those watching, just joining in, Saturn and Jupiter have dropped below the horizon. So we've moved on to playing with other parts of astronomy. So we're guiding now, it seems. So now I should be able to take another shot here. Yeah, see how much smaller these pulses are compared to what they were earlier?
Michael Ellsbury, you're welcome. Says loves this. Thank you.
Hey, glad to hear it. I'll see if it finds any more stars here. If the focus is a little better, I just tweaked it in just a little bit. I think that is worse. Maybe I need to do longer exposures to get this to pick up better. Let me see what my focuser settings are as well. 1800, wow.
Red Jag says there's so much to learn. It's amazing to think that these are so far away.
Oh yeah. You want to look up the Pegasus cluster and see what its distance is?
Okay, the Pegasus cluster is also known as Messier 15, and it is about 33,600 light years from Earth. It is 175 light years in diameter.
Cool. And being that it's that close to Earth, it's inside the Milky Way.
Uh-huh. Mark's been watching, but he wasn't signed in.
Oh, hey Mark. Thanks for joining in. Mark, do you have any other visual targets you'd like me to head to and get pictures of tonight?
Messier 15 is one of the most densely packed globulars known in the Milky Way galaxy.
I can definitely see that. It is certainly packed in there tight.
It has a total luminosity of 360,000 times that of the Sun. Mark says Pleiades, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'll point to Pleiades, but I don't think I'll be able to get much of it in the scope.
M15 is home to over 100,000 stars. The cluster is notable for containing a large number of variable stars and pulsars, including one double neutron star system.
So here, Mark, if you see the red outline, that's the size of my sensor. So I'll slew to it and we'll see what we can find. But I'm not holding my breath that this is going to be something we get a lot of detail out of. Oh, there's the scope coming across. Let me bring up the video of it moving here.
Mark says we may catch some of the nebulosity.
Yep, we'll see. I've never shot Pleiades with this scope, so it's a possibility. After this, we can go down and look at Orion again. Maybe even Horsehead. I bet we could get Horsehead to start coming in. Having a little bandwidth dropout. So we'll just go back to looping. All right, so it looks like we're on target. So we'll take one shot at 15 seconds, bending 2 by 2, by the way, Mark, in case you can't see that on the screen. Mark is another amateur astronomer buddy of mine. He actually helped build the observatory that all this gear is sitting in. Yeah, not holding out much hope on the nebulosity. Definitely getting the bright stars though. So let's see how close Stellarium's calculations are to what we're actually seeing. Not too far off. I'm going to do a 30-second. Actually, you know what? Now that I've got focus pretty close, let's close out of this and we'll go back into the other software that does live stacking and see if we can't get it to do good there. So I'm going to close out of this one. And we'll go back into SharpCap.
Did you know that the earliest known depiction of the Pleiades is likely a northern German Bronze Age artifact known as the Nebula sky disk, dated to approximately 1600 BC?
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy. I feel like Janet from The Good Place.
Right.
Fun fact.
All right, so we'll go 30-second exposures. And we'll turn the gain down a bit. And then we'll go into live stack mode. And I think we're guiding. Yep, we are guiding. It is settled. Man, I don't think it's going to align the frames. So let's go to the histogram. We'll reset. There we go.
In 1610, Galileo published a sketch of the Pleiades showing 36 stars. He had discovered that the cluster contains many stars too dim to see with the naked eye. So he observed through his telescope and took notes.
Cool. All right, so we're guiding. So we're doing 30-second subs, Mark, and having it live stack. This is two 30-second subs. Actually, you know what? Let's go for the gusto. Let's go to 90-second subs. Why not, right?
And what is a sub?
A sub is a sub exposure, so it's taking a 90-second picture and then giving us that data, and then taking another 90-second and bringing that data in and stacking those together to get more detail. More signal, less noise. So we have a minute left on this first 90-second exposure. Mark, we were getting, I guess you were on earlier, we were getting some good dark lanes in the Andromeda Galaxy earlier. Man, the seeing is really bad though. It's so bad actually that PhD lost its guide star. I'm going to disable that here because I don't want to lose 90-second frames or sub exposures.
Wow, we've been streaming for 100 minutes already.
Whew, man.
Time flies.
Yep. I think we're going to have to go in on these streams and put the minute markers so people can jump to the different sections.
Okay.
Since we're doing a lot more besides just Jupiter and
Okay.
Saturn.
That sounds like a plan. Mark was talking to his daughter while you were doing that.
Ah, okay. You'll have to go back and look, Mark. It was coming in pretty good. A little bit of nebulosity. Not a whole lot. Actually, there is quite a bit of data there. All right. So what was the next one we were going to go to? Oh,
The moon. I
um,
voted the moon, but I got outvoted.
oh yeah, David voted on the Orion Nebula. So
Yep. The baby maker.
the baby maker. Oh, good times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to set this about 15 seconds for going to the baby maker.
Ooh. Oh wait, that's not the view.
No.
Got super excited. I was like, wow, that looks awesome.
That streak is amazing. Oh, there's Orion. Yeah, see at 15. Oh, well, actually, this is probably stretched. Let me reset that. Oh, it wasn't stretched. So I'm centering it up a little bit better, and then I'll go into the live stack mode.
I think over these 3 nights, anything that you've captured and stacked, you should post on the blog, the final, what you come up with.
Yeah,
Just
they're
to-
not going to be amazing, but yeah.
It just gives people that endured the 3 nights of this boredom something to look forward to.
You're so
No,
encouraging.
no, it's exciting. I get it.
All right, so we're guiding there. Let me go into live stack mode. Clear.
Oh yeah, Mark is right. Going to Horsehead and Flame, one or the other.
Oh yeah, Horsehead I did mention. Yep.
Horsehead's my favorite.
Ooh, boy, that looks pretty cool.
Ooh. I'm looking at yours
I know.
because mine's laggy.
Yep. Well, I mean, you're watching at the same pace that everybody else is,
Oh.
but they're hearing us in line with what I'm seeing.
Okay. Also, your monitor is better than my monitor, so.
Well, no. You're just seeing compression compared to what I'm seeing.
I'm trying to get a new monitor. John says, we can always leave if we get bored. Portland Ann can't. Oh, yes, I can. Come here, Fee. Nope, not on the microphone. It's harder to leave when we're going down the road on the interstate.
Yes. So that's looking pretty good, John. Or Mark. Or John.
Or the other 15 people out there.
Right? Or everybody else. Is it only 15?
Yep.
Oh, man.
The 16. Oh, 17. But I deducted me. 'Cause
Okay. So for those just joining, Saturn and Jupiter have dropped below the horizon for my observatory in Rodeo, New Mexico. So instead, we're just touring around the rest of the night sky. This on screen right now is the Andromeda gosh, man, it's been a long night. Is the Orion Nebula. It is Messier 42 is its designation. And it is special in that it's an emission nebula, so the light that we're seeing in this structure is actually being given off by the gases that are excited to the point that they emit light. And it is the birthplace of stars and the death place of a star. So at some point in history, a star or one or more stars exploded and blew out these fusion byproducts out into space, and the remaining hydrogen coalesced and formed. There's about 7 brand new baby stars in this bright white spot right here in the middle. So it's a stellar nursery. Let me see if I can get it dimmed down enough to... No, I think I've blown it all the way out. Yep, that area, trapezium, is blown all the way out. But the rest of it is looking really pretty cool. So I'll save this, and I'll save it once more after this next frame comes in. Then we'll move over to the Horsehead Nebula. That make you happy?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so we'll save it there.
I would say I'm
Clear and
easy to please,
pause.
but we both know that's a lie.
You said what?
I'm not going to repeat it.
Okay.
I said I would say I'm easy to please, but we both know that's a lie.
Ah, got it. Nope. Back to this. All right, so that's the Horsehead Nebula. Let's move the telescope over there. You'll notice that it doesn't have to move very much to get to the Horsehead Nebula. These are all really quite close together in the Orion constellation. All right, so let's go to live image or individual frames. Clear that. Let me go back here and get this started.
Mark says if you were getting Andromeda well, maybe you could get M33 too.
Oh yeah.
Apologies for the mic noise. I'm adding a sweater.
I knew what you meant, Mark. Okay, so I'm going to crank the exposure up on this a bit. Go up to 30 seconds. And we will start stacking. Oh, there is Horsehead in there.
Horsehead is 1,375 light years from Earth. It was first recorded in 1888 by Scottish astronomer Wilhelmina Fleming.
Wilhelmina.
Mm-hmm.
Good for her. It is indeed, John, a negative lack of light. There's actually a the red. So oh, you know, I probably should. Well, it's luminance. That's fine. Sorry, I'm just trying to. There we go. Okay. I'd opened up a new window and it covered everything up. So apologies. So this area behind the Horsehead is actually an emission nebula that's giving off a lot of red light. And then this is dust that is actually in front of, between us and that red emission nebula. I have not read Aristotle regarding the composition of the universe, Augusto, but that sounds like it could be interesting. All right, so that's Horsehead. I think this is the asterism around, is it Altonac?
So if you're, when you're looking at the view on your screen, tilt your head and you can see the...
Yeah, so you can see the outline of the head right there, the Horsehead. It actually kind of looks like a seahorse. All right, so we want to go to flame real quick since we're in this vicinity. All right, sending the telescope over there now. And we'll turn live stack back on and clear that. All right. Ooh. Yep, the flame is definitely there. A little off center. Yeah, the colors make it really pop. These are astronomy or astro images other people have taken that is built into the Stellarium software. So this is what you would be seeing if I image this with multiple color filters and then put them all together. Aristotle found out from the alien visits. Yeah, I don't think that's how that went, John, but I could be wrong.
Well, Aristotle did believe there were five elements.
Yeah.
So maybe the fifth element showed up.
Could have been.
Lilu Dallas.
Yep. Yeah, Mark, I might throw some targets in. It's, I could probably get something out of the night. It's about 15 till 7. We've been going almost 2 hours now. Whew, hard to believe. So this is the Flame Nebula.
All right, oh, you're gonna have to forgive me. I've got to feed the cats, so I'm gonna be behind Michael making some noise a little bit. She's beating up on me, so.
I'm going to save that to play with later. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a lot of good structure in that. All right, one more frame on this. I'll save that out, and then we can move on. All right. What was another one we were going to go to? Oh, M33.
Yeah, M33. Red Jag, you know it. I got to take care of the babies. I get fussed at. Emma does this thing where she'll jump up on my lap, but when we adopted her, her front paws had been declawed, which we don't condone. She just showed up that way. But all the other times, she will not dig her back nails into us until she wants to be fed and we're ignoring her. And then she will jump up and just dig back nails and bound right off of us, or at least off of me. She doesn't seem to bother Michael.
No, she doesn't really bother me that much.
In fact, if I've left the house, he doesn't even know we have pets. They just
They
go
really
hide
leave me alone,
and get
yeah.
quiet, and as soon as I come in, they just start meowing.
All right, let's stretch this and see what we got. Oh, man. I'm going to move this, see if I can center it a little bit better.
Peanut and Joy. You're going to have to send me pictures. I need pictures of those babies, Peanut and Joy. Augusto, I did know that Michelangelo had the first helicopter designs in his sketchbooks.
I think they were, oh, there's a different name for them, but I can't remember what it was.
Let me get to Google.
I'm waiting on another frame to come in here to see if I moved it in the right direction or not.
Oh, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci helicopter. I can't find what it was called though.
Maybe I should turn these exposures way down, just till I get this centered, and then I'll turn them back up and start stacking them.
He called it an aerial screw.
Ah, yes.
Kind of looks like one. So
Yep.
makes sense. Someone suggested that we watch Da Vinci's Demons. I don't think we've gotten into it.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen it.
The aerial screw required 4 men to spin cranks fast enough to generate enough lift to get it off the ground.
Well played, Red Jag.
Yep.
Oh, so close. Just a little bit more toward the center. Okay. That'll be close enough. Let me get this guiding again.
Michael has a helper on his lap.
Yep. Our little Fiona.
She's 6 pounds of ears.
We'll reset this. Whoa, man, that is really too aggressive on the stretch. And then I'm going to crank this up to 30 seconds.
Mark says 33 is looking pretty darn good.
Yep.
Good call, Mark.
He's got good ideas every now and then.
I'm not going to say nothing. Is Rudy watching, by the way?
I doubt Rudy's watching. I bet he's watching something else or sleeping.
You could throw Fiona up on the camera.
Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about star stuff. It's amazing. You'll love it.
Oh, that boy ain't right, y'all.
Oh, I bet that's stretched. Ah, there we go. I was double stretching. I was trying to figure out why it was so weird looking. Yeah, dog star. Whoop.
Aw, Fiona. She camera shy.
You know, the dog star is Sirius. S-I-R-I-U-S, by the way.
Keanu Reeves had a band called Dog Star.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for joining the stream. I hope your puppy is not as needy as this one is.
Mark said Rudy's chewing a toy in front of the TV and now he's watching Pee-Pee.
Oh, well, she hopped down, so.
Fiona, we think, we were told she was an Italian Greyhound, and she's got the shape that she could have been a mix, but according to Embark doggy DNA testing, she's basically a toy fox terrier. I think Michael wants more of the dog.
Oh, more of the dog?
It says more.
Come on. Now she has her squeaky toy.
buddy.
Oh, maybe she's more needy than ours.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's an awfully high bar. So for anybody watching, Jupiter, Saturn, they've gone below the horizon tonight, but we're looking at other things in the night sky. This is M33, which, if memory serves, is the Pinwheel Galaxy. Yes, Pinwheel Galaxy in the Triangulum or the Triangulum Pinwheel Galaxy. There are actually two Pinwheel Galaxies, so you got to be careful not to get them confused.
Michael's dog is 16. Fiona is... Ooh, how old is Fiona? 5.
Yeah, sounds right.
She's 5. We think. She was anywhere from 6 months to 18 months when we adopted her. Red Jag says Joy gets very jealous when he puts up pictures of Loki. She actually jumps against her.
Oh, wow.
Like, you're watching another dog, I know it. Loki is handsome.
All right. Well.
Mark sent a picture of Rudy watching Fiona. Nice. Rudy's our biggest fan, but only when Fiona or the cats are on TV.
All right. So I think this will do it for tonight. We'll go ahead and save this one out, and I'll be putting these up on the blog post, as Lynn mentioned, after I process them a little bit, see what I can get out of things, and we'll park the telescope and close the roof up here, so we'll give you a view of that, because evidently it's exciting to watch a roof close. I think this part's the exciting part. Although, admittedly, when I was first working on the astronomy shed, getting the roof to close and open on its own was pretty darn exciting as well. So I kind of get it. All right, so let me disconnect this and close that out. And we'll close out the heater and fan controls for the telescope. Close out Stellarium because we're done with that. Yes, okay, good. Don't need this anymore. Oh, PhD is still connected. That's what's going on. So let me stop that. Disconnect all equipment from there. And now we'll park the telescope. So you'll see the scope park itself here.
John, I don't think we're going to get any snow for Christmas.
Oh, no, definitely not.
No.
Here, anyway.
Well, we could drive up to Mount Charleston and they might have some snow.
So we're seeing two different views of the same thing right now. As the telescope parks here. And then as I roll the roof closed, you'll be able to see this whole thing will get brighter as the roof closes because the infrared will be kept inside the observatory. All right, so it is parked now, and we'll go ahead
Oh, Red Jag, my apologies.
close the roof.
The S word. He says his back is still killing him from last week's storm.
Oh man.
That's why you just stay in and wait for it to melt.
I'm gonna go turn on the IR in the northwest feed.
Or move south, or to the desert.
All right, so you can see here the flap has closed, and now you can see on this one the roof is closing, which means this motor is running right now, and then this chain is being driven by this gearbox, and that's what's pulling the roof closed. See if I can make this. Oh, crap. Picked the wrong thing. So the roof is now rolling closed to cover and protect all the gear. So it will be protected. Anyone have any last minute questions before we end the stream here tonight? Looks like viewers are dropping off here.
Red Jag, what Michael said, he says, Michael, what do you do if there's a problem with the system, roof doesn't close?
So there are people at Rusty's RV Ranch that I can grant access to be able to come in the door there and work on something if need be. I've had Josh, so the conjunction, the closest point of conjunction was actually a few hours ago. And when I started the stream, we were able to see the conjunction then, but the Jupiter and Saturn went below the horizon pretty quickly after sunset. So the rest of this time we've been using to just do a tour of the night sky and see what we can see. But yeah, if there's an issue, there are people there at Rusty's RV Ranch where the observatory is that I can get into the shed and take a look at things and try to fix things. The only thing I've had happen so far is the computer that controls internet access has locked up a couple of times on me. So I've had someone go out and power cycle it and bring it back online for me. But all right, well, hey, thanks everyone for sticking around and touring the night sky with us. We're going to be updating the description on the video with timestamps of each of the different things that we went to look at, in hopes that people can jump around a little easier and see what they want to see. So if you're really interested in the conjunction itself, make sure to watch the replay of the stream toward the very beginning. That was when we had Jupiter and Saturn on screen, and then the rest of the evening we were just tooling around the night sky. So thank you very much again for sticking around. I'm Michael from turtleherding.com.
I'm Lynn Ann.
Off camera, my lovely assistant wife.
Wait, I'll sneak over.
She's coming over.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
So
okay, bye.
Have a great night all and happy holidays. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.